Agenda, there we go. Okay, are we ready? We're live? All right, we're gonna call this commissioners meeting to order at 19:01 hours. And, any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we need to add batch pitting as the first item under new business.
All right. That's probably a good thing, because there's a lot of people here.
Oh, gee.
Okay, any other changes, adjustments? All right, with that, we will go to the minutes. Any further comments on minutes?
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Old business. Anything under old business, information on financial accounts payable and payroll? Do we have any questions about accounts payable and payroll?
Not anymore.
I'm glad you're taking care of this before the meeting. Yep.
Yep, nope, I don't have any questions.
I will make a motion that we approve both payroll and accounts payable as presented.
So motion needed.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Don't need the motion.
got it.
Okay, so that's good. See, information action items, transport waiver. So we have two transport waiver requests tonight. We have all reviewed them. I'll make a motion that we waive full balance on both of them.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Personal leave cash out request. Any comments about that?
There's
No, it's
nothing
pretty straightforward.
about it.
Okay.
There you go.
Put in.
I do.
I'm trying to use it. You guys are going fast so that I can scroll down my pages.
Well, we got a lot to do tonight.
You need it right away.
Well. There's the original.
Okay. We'll review that real quick. Okay. Is there a motion on that?
I'll move we grant the East Government request for cash out.
I'll second that motion.
$50 personal leave.
Okay.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. And that brings us to our additional item under new business.
Bring up, we got a couple batch pitting tonight. We're gonna start with, swearing in of the firefighters, then we'll, batch pin or recognize the drivers. And then we have a lieutenant promotion tonight and a training officer. So we're gonna start with the swearing in of the three new part-timers. So if I can have Errol Hooker, David Garcia, and Nicholas Sarza up front.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So we brought these three on in January. They started the pre-academy. They're the 8 of the Snohomish County Academy. We would have brought them before you guys earlier, but due to COVID, we waited until we could do this in person. So gentlemen, we're going to have you take the oath of office. So who's your leader?
Me, sir.
Errol?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Errol starts off.
I do solemnly swear to uphold the ideals, expectations, values, policies, and image of Fire District 4. As a firefighter of Fire District 4, my duty is to serve the people I swear to protect, to safeguard and preserve life, health, and property against fire and other perils, and maintain proficiency in fire skills. I will never allow my personal feelings or danger to self deter me from my responsibilities. I will complete my duties to the best of my ability with fairness and without prejudice. I will at all times respect the property and rights of all. I will constantly strive to achieve the objectives and ideals that the fire service instills. I accept this badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust, and wear it as a reminder of my dedication to the ethics of the fire service.
So we do your oath now, and we do the badge fitting in the academy.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's just leftover from,
Oh,
What's that?
still a good idea.
yeah.
Well, the badge.
No.
All right, so the next group we're gonna recognize is our promoted drivers. As you guys know, for our fire district, the last contract being signed, we have our first ever promoted engineers. And I think we have, I believe by last count, 4, so I'm gonna call up John Stewart, Joe Melnick, Carl Jacobson, Clara Woofenden, and Dave Lacy. Am I miss any other drivers that snuck in?
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chief.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
This is gonna be. Joe.
So this has all been quick, so obviously we don't have your badges yet. And we don't have your helmet shields yet.
Helmet shields are on order. It's very similar except for one little one. So, all right, we also, I'd like to recognize that in addition to these 5, we have Kent Lucky, Doug Higbee, Gabe Harrington, and Josh Poole that are not in attendance, but were also promoted to the position of engineer. So when you guys are ready, Joe, you want to lead it off on the
Will do. I do solemnly swear to uphold the ideas, expectations, values, policies of District 4.
Carl, you're doing it solo. You're not getting out of this. All right, never allowed. Okay, start over.
Okay. I do solemnly swear to uphold the ideals, expectations, values, policies, and image of Fire District 4. As a firefighter of Fire District 4, my duty is to serve the people I swear to protect, to safeguard and preserve life, health, and property against fires and other perils, and maintain proficiency in fire service skills. I will never allow any personal feelings or danger to self to deter me from my responsibilities. I will complete my duties to the best of my ability, with fairness and without prejudice. I will at all times respect the property and rights of all. I will constantly strive to achieve the objectives and ideals that the fire service instills. I accept this promotion as an engineer, and I will uphold my position as a symbol of public faith and trust.
But I just want to say one thing first before I clap. This is our first class of engineers. And notice that we call you engineers and not driver operators. That's what the actors are going to be, is driver operators. And that's to show how important this position is. I feel this is the most important position in the fire service. Taking pride in your job. That's why we're calling you engineers. It's now, you're not just driving, it's your truck, it's your stuff. I hope that you act like it's your personal stuff, and it's now yours to become your thing to take care of and make this program what it is. You're the inaugural class. You're going to set up for how engineers act for the rest of our department's history. So please take it with pride. Please take it with respect. Please take it with a great deal of seriousness, because I really do think this is one of the most important positions in the fire service. So thank you.
We're going to take it so Marcus can get in.
Okay. You have your badge. Yeah. So I thought we gave it to you.
Congratulations, Carl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'd like to introduce to you Marcus McGee. He's just got promoted to lieutenant. First of the year.
I, Mark McGee, do solemnly swear to uphold the ideals, expectations, values, policies, and image of Fire District 4. As an officer of Fire District 4, my duty is to serve the people I swear to protect, to safeguard and preserve life, health, and property against fire and other perils, and maintain proficiency in fire service skills. I will never allow my personal feelings or danger to self deter me from my responsibilities. I will lead my fire company to the best of my ability with fairness and without prejudice. I will at all times respect property and the rights of all. I will constantly strive to achieve the objectives and ideals that the fire service instills. I accept this badge of my office as a symbol of public faith and trust, and wear it as a reminder to my dedication to the ethics of the fire service.
Introducing Lieutenant Marcus McGee.
Congratulations, Marcus.
I just want to mention we have one other promotion. That's Daryl Heike to the promoted to the position of training officer. Daryl's not able to be here, but I'd like to congratulate Daryl Heike, please. Well, you're more than welcome to stay because it's a public meeting, but we also give everybody 5 minutes if they would like to gracefully exit. And we'll start the meeting after that.
Crowd out a bit.
It always does for some reason.
Yeah. Okay,
You need the door for us? Whenever you're ready.
all right, are we live? All right, so we'll resume our meeting now that we've cleared the room. And that brings us down to comment card changes. It was quite a change. So it went from the 70s to the 2020. Actually. Do you have any comments on the comment card?
No, I like it a lot.
I like it a lot too.
I like the thing of always thinking more. Those cars that it gives, probably doesn't reach most people, and this is definitely a reach out.
Yeah.
And then we can post it more ways and other ways. And so, yeah, we'll work on trying to expand the feedback, I guess.
Yeah, I was just wondering on the old comment cards, what was the percent of returns? Did anybody ever track that?
Sherry might have that information.
They did years ago. We asked that, I don't know, like a lot of years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what the percentage was, but it was higher than I expected. It was pretty high.
Less than 25%, but I'm pretty sure, yeah.
But usually those are like 10% or 5% or something, but we have pretty good percentage rate.
Well, the reason I ask is, put it up against the new thing and just see what kind of response it is. And hopefully it would be a higher response, you know. But if it isn't, then we have another issue, I suppose, you know.
Maybe, yeah.
But,
Yes, I will get that from Sherry, obviously, before she leaves, so we have a good number, and then Christine can track the new one going forward and try to monitor that.
I think that would be helpful,
Okay.
you know.
And then we go to strategic plan. Updates.
And that's just really an update for you, and then anybody that gets the packet or wants to get on the website. We did a lot of work to get here, and so we want to make sure that we're being upfront and obvious about what we're working on, how we're getting there. And again, this will probably come up again at budget times to relook at these. And so really, it's just if there's any questions or comments about what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, what we're not doing.
I really appreciate that because in the past, we've had strategic plans. We've done them, we put them on the shelf, and then nobody ever said, did we do that or didn't we? Or, I mean, we kind of knew we had things to do, but it wasn't tracked and monitored like this. So I'm appreciating the fact that we are really making use of all that money we spent to do it.
Definitely trying.
Thank you.
Jason will go over it, but I put out for you guys to look at our first 99% complete stats monthly draft so that you guys can look at that, what it's actually going to look like. Yeah, so you can, there's just one copy, so you can pass it down. So, you know, it's a short time, but just in the time that we've been educating about turnout times, we're starting to see a significant drop. So I think just the crews just knowing that it's something that we need to work on has helped without even doing a lot of the other things.
Good. Excellent. Any other comments on the strategic plan update? Okay, in advanced travel resolution 540.
Yeah, so we needed to update it anyways because it had Chief Gatterman as the fund, what was it? Custodian. So with him retiring soon, that we wanted to get that switched so we had time to make sure it was all working right. Then we found a few things, even though it had not been done, that we weren't following the current resolution, and we didn't have a policy. So we talked to Brian to tell him what we did, and he actually said that was fine. So we changed the wording in the resolution to match what we do, because that's what we prefer. We wrote a policy, which you'll see further down, that actually matches the resolution, so that we have something for all the members to actually go on to make sure we're following the resolution. And then hopefully we won't have to update this resolution, because now again, in the resolution, as you see, it just says you're going to appoint somebody. So you just can do that through motion. when we want to change, we don't have to actually adopt a new resolution or rescind one. And then we need 2 other motions so that we can change the people on the 2 bank accounts. So motion to adopt the resolution and then the 2 motions to change the people on the bank accounts.
Okay, and you want them in that order?
I don't think it matters, however you want to do it.
So let's start out with this one. I'll make a motion that for all Wells Fargo accounts, the Fire District 4 Board of Commissioners directs the removal of the current key executive, Ron Simmons, and an appointment of a new key executive, Donald Waller. And to also change our signers on the account by adding new signers, Thad Frater, Greg Osborne, and Christine Heike. And remove the signer, Christina Blair.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 540.
I'll second that.
And I'll okay. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay,
There's another motion at the bottom.
yes, and then let's see where to go.
24.
Yeah, there. Before I gotta get to the, okay. Wait, okay, there we go. Okay, I'll make a motion that for all Washington federal accounts, we also need some new signers added. A motion from the board as follows. For all Washington federal accounts, Fire District 4 Board of Commissioners directs to add Thad Frater and Christine Heike as signer.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And let's see, so that should take care of 540. Brings us to Liz Loomis contract.
And so we were looking into, we've had a lot of changes in the fire district. And so we wanted to make sure that we get a good public education baseline before we do any future ballot measures or anything like that, so that we can kind of have a reset and make sure everybody's on the same page. We had a conference call with Liz Loomis, Christine, Greg, I can't remember who else was on there, Commissioner Merritt, to kind of talk about what she would do, how she'd do it, why she would do it. And I think we came up with a 12-month contract starting this fall. Let everybody kind of get through summer because everybody's not paying attention to summer. And so then we could do it through this fall, winter, and into the next summer, and then kind of get ourselves a good, like I said, baseline of where we're at now and where we're going.
Excellent.
I already have a question. She did say that she could come and give a presentation at a board meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that we can ask if she can do it at some point. I mean, you obviously have this contract in front of us, so I think that with the amount of money it is, it would be nice to be able to actually get some sort of presentation of what it is that she's going to be doing, at least for the other 2 board members.
Yeah, I can do that at the, I can see what her schedule is.
Yeah, I'd like to. I think that's a good idea. Doesn't need to be,
Yeah, that'd be great, you guys.
doesn't need to be 3 hour long, but just a quick kind of overview.
Yeah, we
of
want to hurry because she only takes on 15 clients and she's like at 11 or 12. So
We call a special meeting and do it via Zoom or something like that.
yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem as long as she has a schedule for next meeting. If something happens, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Do we need a motion?
No.
To-
Not if you're not going to approve the contract, then
Okay.
no.
Yes, I agree with the concept though. And Liz has helped us in the past. Okay, cell phone to single phone, cell phone to single phone.
So Bill can probably speak to this a little bit more than me, but there's now the opportunity to put two different phones with two different carriers into one phone, and which would prevent all of us over here on this side from carrying two phones around all the time. And so the only disadvantage, like I said, with the lawyer was having that crossover. So this is just a way to say you're going to keep your two lines separate. And as long as you keep the two lines separate, as long as you don't do anything legal on your private line, we're not going to care, or illegal, we're not going to care what you do on your private line, but on the district line, you have to follow all district policies and procedures.
So sending and receiving emails, that's gonna be done on one phone, you're just gonna be able to.
Yeah, but
isolate the two.
yeah, there's two different accounts. So Bill can explain it. One of the SIM cards is an eSIM. And so it's coming, and we're actually all going to have different carriers. And so like for me, my personal carrier is T-Mobile. So all my personal stuff will come under my personal phone number, my personal emails under the T-Mobile network, the T-Mobile internet, all the district stuff will come into Verizon on my department number and under the Verizon network, under the Verizon internet. And so there's no way, I mean, somebody could screw up and accidentally use the wrong one for the wrong one, but you would have to actually, like something, Bill, you want to add any more?
Yeah, any phone call or text or anything, data is a choice. And so, for me to send a text, I have dual SIM on my phone to try it out, just so I knew what I was getting into for the rest of the chiefs. Before I send a text, I have to pick a service. So that I know it's my personal. Same thing with a phone call, and then physically pick which data source is being used. So it works very well, and it's nice to have just one phone.
Oh, sure. That's cool.
Absolutely. Technology, wonderful thing sometimes. Okay, so come on down here. There we go.
It says this was a draft agreement, so do we have to okay it or something?
Yeah, so we would need a motion for you
Yeah.
to accept this liability of waiver, risk and waiver. A liability.
Would that be part of our procedure, right?
So,
That we use with the phones for the certain people.
yeah, so anybody that's gonna have it, so like,
It says the executive chiefs.
yes, for this one, and I'll have another one, you're gonna sign this one that says executive chiefs, and at Bill, if we decide to keep Bill having one, then I will change one for Bill, and I will sign it for anybody that's non-executive, but you'll sign it for the four of us, and if Bill and the other VCs want one, and we feel it's appropriate, then I will sign that and make it, but nothing will change except for that part, but you're just approving this as a concept, because we've never done it before.
Right. All right, so I will make a motion that we approve the dual SIM program and authorize the chief to make the purchase. Whoever makes a purchase, but authorize the purchase of the hardware.
And there's no new purchases.
Yeah, it's an acknowledgement of
It's
risk
the-
fear of liability.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
Bill.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
These acknowledgements, where will they be stored?
In their personnel files. So each person that has one, it'll go on their personnel file.
Okay, will we keep a track somewhere of how many of these we have out?
No, there won't be that many. It's the executive chiefs, and it might be two or three others. So
Okay,
yeah, it's not going to be,
all right.
yeah, because there's not many people that have department cell phones.
So,
You know who has department cell phones, which
Okay.
is,
I'm
yeah,
just asking
Yeah.
questions, so we don't get digged or something,
Correct.
like that.
let's say it'll probably just be in our heads.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna get a bill with that carrier. That's what we'll have.
I mean, yeah, we know who has cell phones, but who has a dual, because we might have, but yeah,
Okay,
won't be very many.
okay.
Okay, that brings us to the IQ software, inventory tracking software. Any questions about that?
You guys have a preference on?
Yes, there is a preference.
Operative IQ is what's being recommended, and this is a program that MSO Bromley's been looking at for probably close to a year. And I've been pushing it off because we thought one of our current platforms, Check It, that we use for our rig checks, also has an inventory and a tracking system, but it's not set up to track any medical supplies, barcoder. So I would have had this before you probably, Neil wanted this before you guys like a couple months ago. I slowed the process down just to make sure that Check It, an existing program we already subscribed to, cannot do it. We had a virtual meeting with them, told them what we wanted to use it for. They confirmed, no, our system currently cannot do that. Operative IQ was recommended. There is a one-time training fee and setup fee of $1,500, and then the annual subscription is $2,200. However, that annual subscription, if you purchase $80,000 in EMS equipment using that platform through their preferred providers, which we already use, it would be free. So Neil said right now we're spending right at that mark annually, and because costs of everything is going up, we suspect at worst we're going to pay every other year. One year we're going to meet that threshold, and won't be an annual fee. The next year maybe because we ordered extra supplies that we wouldn't meet it. But the tracking and the inventory part that we're missing is when they go through the supply shed and they do outdates, sometimes they're filling garbage cans up with a whole bunch of equipment that's expired. And we hope this software will help us identify that issue and help save us from throwing away waste. So Neil said there's months where he goes out there and he might throw away $600 at a time of expired inventory because we missed it on a pull date. So we're hoping it'll help assist us with tracking expiration dates and some of those things. So Operative IQ is the recommended. He found 2 other companies that do something similar. And countywide, it seems like everybody is either Operative IQ or there's one other in your packet that I don't remember the name, but basically two different versions of what's being used in the county. And it seems like Operative IQ is the preferred, or most people in the county use that system. So that's our recommendation to you guys as the board.
I'm thinking.
So this is mainly for medical?
It can be used, we believe it could be used for other stuff, but the main intent is to get our medical supplies inventoried and expiration dates and using the barcode system where that's going to assist, so less manual entry of that.
Actually, pretty familiar with the Operative IQ. I use it over at Brentworth, and we use it for daily rig checks, station supply, everything, pretty much everything when it comes to tracking it.
Which is our hope, is to barcode other things. I think initially we'd set it up on EMS, but my guess is it'll expand into other equipment.
Okay, that's good.
All right. So, do I hear a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of Operative IQ.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next we have cardiac monitors purchase.
For our LifePak 15s were pretty much out of date and obsolete. A year or two ago, we kind of had to finagle them into giving us another basically maintenance and service contract for this last year. Because you remember what it was going to be like $20,000 to fix one or $4,000 to have the contract. So anyways, it's just finally replacing those so that we can update, get the new features and actually have ones that can be more serviceable and more use. So
is this what most districts are using?
The LifePak 15s, I would say most of the fire service in Washington and probably all of the departments in the county. I don't know anybody really. It's Physio Controller Zoll is about it, and I haven't seen any Zolls in the county. Anybody?
This is the old physical control that we used to use. You remember that, Commissioner Buffer?
Yeah. So I would say physio controls 80% of in the field EMS, and Zoll has a little bit.
All right, I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 539, waiving the competitive bidding process, or requirement, I should say.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. I will also recommend that we transfer $150,000 from our cash reserve to F75, number 6401, to cover the cost of the purchase of life packs.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I will make a motion that we approve the purchase of life pack 5s from Stryker.
And
I did have one more
Or
question.
15, life pack 15.
They give you, what are you doing with the old ones? Do they not give you a trade-in on that?
it is, I don't know if they
Keep those around. Okay to keep those around for.
no, we can keep them around, yes, but they can't be fixed anymore. So basically, we might keep some, but once anything happens, they're done.
I thought that they give you a trade-in value.
They do, but we waited so long, it's pretty minimal, and I'm pretty sure it's figured in there. And again, it's like when you do a used car, like sometimes they give you a trade-in.
$6,500.
Yeah, that's right. I knew Neil had did it, but it's pretty much like, yeah. Pretty much not anything. And so the purchase auth is for 167,504.20.
167, I thought it was only 47. Ooh, okay.
Part of this, we had planned, they're in the budget, but we just haven't moved the money over to the
Right.
fund yet to cover it, so just.
Right.
No, this is the purchase auth, not the transfer, the purchase auth. And that's because we're doing the life packs and other equipment to go with it. So that's why the total is 167.
I see.
Yeah, I go 420.
All right. You want that in the motion?
Yeah, well, I mean, another one, I don't think you did the purchase auth. So, I mean, you said the purchase, but you just didn't put the amount in there. I didn't know if you wanted to do that.
So the purchase author, I see 146. So where's the purchase authorization?
It's on page 109.
I passed it a long time ago. 109.
109.
I can do it.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion for the purchase authorization for $167,504
And 20 cents.
for Stryker and 20 cents for Stryker.
Okay, I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Good. And then we go policy, internet, email, advanced travel, newborn safety. We have a bunch of policies. Are there any questions on any of these policies as presented?
Not anymore.
I love that.
Yeah, so I would move that we would adopt, policy 104, 113, 525, 711, 716, 729, and 802.
I'll second that motion.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Okay. IL8, piggyback on a brush truck build bid.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to just use our bid with Cascade Fire for the brush truck, just like we used Oak Harbors for the SCBA. So we just have to assign an ILA that says we let them use our bid.
Right.
No cost, no effect, nothing to us.
So I'll make a motion, we allow the use of the interlocal agreement for anybody that wants to use it.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Did you have somebody reach out and ask? Or-
Yeah, Kittitas something or other. I don't remember which one.
Number one.
Kittitas, number 1.
All right, and then we come down to our COVID changes.
Yeah, so as we transition with the change, we can reduce the use of masks. We can open back up to the public. We'd like to change how we use admin time. basically the only thing that we can't change is we still have to, through the last proclamation that's still in effect, we still have to offer virtual meetings. And so that's the only thing that we are required right now. We still have to use all the PPE in healthcare settings, which is really just our ambulances and stuff like that, which we would anyways. And so we're down to really, that's it, that our new requirements are. So we would like to start moving back the other way. I don't, a motion with you guys would just help us make sure we're all staying on the same page, because you guys did a motion when we started this admin time and the masks and all that. So I just felt it was appropriate to bring it to you and ask you guys to do a motion to start moving us back the other way.
Okay,
This afternoon, the commissioners, I don't know if you got it, but we got something from our headquarters and that Brian put together. Is that something similar that you received?
Yeah.
It had some of the very, I just thought if it was late, maybe it was a add-on or maybe a little change from what you had here.
No, I had already done this, but nothing what he said changed what we knew was coming. So I read through all his and everything that we have in here fits within exactly what he said we could do.
Good.
so this is kind of a complicated thing. You don't want that all in the motion.
No, I think you could just say the changes as presented in the ad issue.
On page 151.
Yeah.
You do it that way.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion that we approve the changes to our COVID policies and our sick leave policies, our mask policies, all that stuff as presented in the memo from the chief.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we will start teaching CPR classes. We will start letting the room be used. We will start taking the closed off signs off of all of our public entrances to our stations.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. All right.
Of course, if something comes down again, then we just kind of ramp it back up again. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
If there's, okay.
And I think I've been expressing that to the employees that as we move back, whether it's because of it may or may not be because you're worried about getting sick or not, but we will be doing it to make sure. So our biggest risk right now is having a sickness go through, whether it's COVID or not, to where we get a big enough chunk out that we can't at one time that we can't staff the stations. And so our goal will be looking to minimize that. So if we feel that there's the sickness is moving for whatever reason, whatever it is, we may ask the employees to mask or do whatever it is to get us through that portion. So that, again, the goal is that we want to make sure we have all of our station staff 24/7, 365. And so when we feel that might be in risk, we will ask them to make changes to keep that from being at risk.
Excellent. Okay. That brings us down to district staff work groups. Comments?
Thank you guys. This was a great night tonight. See everybody get their badge pinnings. Just had to mandatory one of them for the rest of the night. But that's what happens. They said they're never coming to another department.
Surprise.
And I do not have anything.
I have a few things.
All right, let's hear them.
Commissioners, I want to report first on our chaplain program. I get to work directly with them, attend monthly meetings. They are currently scheduled to attend 1 week at the Criminal Justice Center down in Berrien, Chaplain Academy, which will be for all chaplains, law enforcement, police, and other community groups that have chaplains. They're real big right now, and all of our chaplains and regionally, our chaplain groups in the county and the region are
going through suicide prevention training. It's a countywide task force that our chaplains are a member of, and working with the school districts, law enforcement, and fire, really working and training on suicide prevention now. And that goes not only for the kids in school, the community that we all respond to, but for us as first responders as well. The critical incident training they're going through is working directly with police departments. Monroe, Lake Stevens, Snohomish, and the County Sheriff's Department are the big law enforcement agencies that are there. And they continue, and ask that I pass on that they're continuing to build the relationships with our mutual aid partners. A couple of times our chaplains have been requested out mutual aid, and they're happy to do it. They have a system where our district is never left without a chaplain, even if one of our chaplains goes out of district. Brush 42 is back, changing over to wildland a little bit here, or any questions about the chaplain stuff? Okay, so Brush 42 is back. We'll be getting outfitted. We have most of the gear and equipment that we had planned for to put on that apparatus. It will be at Station 42 where it's stationed at. Lieutenant Jorby, who is overseeing our wildland outfitting of that apparatus, works out at that station. So he and his crew have a plan to get that put together, and they're working with Gary in maintenance and myself to make that happen. Red Card refresher training has already started for our wildland personnel to remain certified. There's one more class that Chief Stalker from Getchell Fire is putting on April 6th. And we'll see where all of our people are at that point. We'll still need to do a field day, and we'll still need to get our PAC test done. I, believe it or not, am really excited about safety and Fire District 4's safety program. So historically, we have generally done really well industry-wise as a fire department with injuries and time loss injuries. Regionally, Labor and Industries has a program, FIRE, and Surfer and South County Fire and Mukilteo Fire were our pilot program in the program through LNI. And the big thing for us as an agency is potential 5 to 10% savings on our LNI fees and dues. But more so than that, they have a lot of programs out, accident prevention updates, some of the forms that we currently use for updates, and a lot of good recommendations where we as an agency can be a part of it. And I'm meeting monthly with that group as well. And along with that, we have a robust safety committee here that's working hard to make sure that we stay safe and taking recommendations to the chief so we can spend some time with our fire chief on safety recommendations. So far, it's been going fantastic. Now, lastly, for me, our agency was selected by the Bureau of Labor and Industries to participate in the 2022 Bureau of Labor Statistics survey, meaning any injury that occurs here, we will do what we normally do, but now I'm mandatorily required to report that to the federal government at the end of the year. So still filling out the same paperwork. It's going to keep the safety committee, myself, our fire chief on our toes to make sure that we accurately complete all of the paperwork. If we have an injury, especially a time loss injury, hopefully we won't, so we're going to work hard to prevent that. But our agency was randomly selected to participate in that. So I'm going to be keeping up on that. And if there's anything to report, then I'll be reporting back to you. Bottom line is I've got to keep good, accurate records and then report to the federal government first quarter of 2023 with our statistics and any injuries, especially time loss. That's my report. Any questions about any of that?
Have we had any injuries so far this year?
We have not. We're going to keep it that way.
Good, yes. Very much so.
I provided, I think, in the packet, a ops report with just a synopsis of the calls for the month of February. And just some update on some equipment you guys have recently authorized purchase, the drug safe, which I believe you guys approved in November, maybe of last year. Thanks to BC Shear, it's up and operational. It's dual authentication. So we got everybody programmed in. So thank you for that. It's about 3 times the size capacity wise. So it helps the crews out. The Class A foam and absorbent you guys approved last board meeting has been delivered, so we're replenished on our Class A foam and absorbent. You guys met the 3 part-time recruits. All 6 that we have at the Snohomish County Academy just are in the middle of week 8. All are doing well. Casey Bazzelli and Anthony Parra just last month were signed off officially. They passed their probationary period. That was a big deal for them. They passed all their tests and practicals that they had to go through. We're currently working to refine our acting credential for both acting BC, acting drivers, and acting lieutenants. So that's, we've been working hard at identifying the classes, locating those for the members, and trying to get people, more people qualified to fill in more positions. We also created, this year, we started working on a career flow path poster, which will eventually make its way to all the stations. And this kind of came out of the strategic plan. One of the surveys that we got back from our membership was they didn't feel like there was always a clear pathway for advancement. And after the staff did an evaluation, we have a clear path in a lot of different places, and we didn't have it consolidated into one place. So you had to refer to 3 to 4 policies plus the CBA to get all the information and job descriptions. We've since made a poster that consolidated all that information, and we're going to print it on a large poster so everybody doesn't have to search 3 policies, a job description, and a CBA to find out what it takes to advance through our organization, whether that's to driver, to lieutenant, to BC, or to be part of a county tech rescue team. We're kind of making a one-stop shopping where all the classes and requirements are listed. So we're about 99% done with that. Water rescue update. So you guys, maybe a year ago, agreed that our members would get to participate in some of the county tech teams, whether that was hazmat, rope rescue, or water. We are close on the water. We got 6 people trained up. Next board meeting, we hope to have a policy for you guys to consider for approval. And once that happens, then we'll start having our swimmers, our rescue swimmers, train with Serper, and we'll officially have rescue certified swimmers. That's kind of the last component, is getting approved policy, working on deployment, getting them recognized in CAD as rescue swimmers. So we're really close on that and excited for those individuals. And then I just wanted to add something kind of late, but with COVID numbers going down and more in-person training, we are sending 4 of our officers to Tri-Cities for riding the right front seat training. We have one of our members that received a grant, and we had their tuition paid for FDIC in Indianapolis. So they're going to get to participate in that conference, and I believe that's in May. And we've had a few members, and I wish I had their names, but I know Doug Higby, I believe, just tested for Fire Officer 1. So a lot of training stuff going on to get people qualified for these new promotions coming up. So pretty excited, but a lot of people are doing some training, and it's good to get back in person. And that's my report.
I would just like to add on that flow path sheet that he's talking about. We also worked with the local, and the local was very helpful in removing some things that didn't make sense and moving some things around so that it actually flowed in a more logical path. So we couldn't have done it without the locals' agreement on making that thing make sense.
We're
Sorry.
married at the hip.
Was that?
We're married at the hip.
I know.
We couldn't do it without you either.
I'm glad to hear that.
I had a question. You were talking about a policy for the swimmers. Would there be another policy like for the hazmat people, or would they be covered under one kind of, that would include all those kind of specialties?
So none of our teams, the answer is yes, we'll probably have some sort of policy, same with the rope rescue. None of our teams will operate. We're not a large enough organization to run anything independent. So for the amount of people it takes for a hazmat, rope rescue, or water is gonna outpace our trained personnel. So and we don't want to really duplicate because of the cost of the equipment. So to answer your question on policy, yeah, there'd have to be a policy we bring before you, for hazmat and for rope rescue and stuff like that. We don't currently, if I'm being honest, I would say the earliest we potentially would be coming to the board for approval of those policies would be 2023. To get the required training to be part of the county team, I don't see happening probably this year. It's going to take a while for people to get trained up to the point where they're allowed on a county team. The rope rescue county team requires 5 different classes, 5 different disciplines. They're all 40-hour classes, and so getting members trained up is going to take a little bit of time. Hazmat is a 1 week, 40-hour tech class, and they offer it. We found 3 different classes so far. A couple will land right in the middle of summer. So some of the people that are interested, just because of already planned vacations, can't attend. The other one was really short notice, like end of February, and they couldn't work that out. So it probably would be 2023 before realistically we come back to the board with consideration for those policies.
And we don't want to write the policies for a couple reasons, until we have somebody trained up and ready, because we don't want to have a policy if it's never going to exist. And then 2, we want the person to have some knowledge in the subject to help us write the policy, to make sure we're writing something that fits into the county system, fits into our system, and fits into theirs. So we need the people to be sort of a subject matter expert, and we want to make sure that we're actually going to move in that direction before we go through the work and having something on the books if we're never going to do it. So we don't have, like I said, anybody that's even signed up for a class, let alone completed it and started interfacing with the county teams.
All right. Anything else, guys? Commissioner comments?
I was really impressed that the fire service all around the world really takes their service to heart. You know, I was watching some of those things like in the Ukraine with the firefighters there trying to put out fires that look like there's no way they can put them out, and yet they're dedicated to do that. And I think that's, you know, it's not just here, but around the world. And I think that's a great brotherhood, sisterhood, however you want to call it, that, you know, we should be supporting, you know, thinking about those folks too, as we go about, you know, and I don't think we can do probably anything to help them, but maybe if we have an old fire engine, you know, something like that sometime. But I was really impressed just to watch that, just see how people are dedicated all over in the fire service, you know. I think that bodes well, you know, really does.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, that's it.
Nothing?
Thanks for all your hard work. It's very, very evident in all the information that we are presenting with you. Thank you.
So I have a couple of comments. So in, so 40 years and 4 months ago, 4 months and about 2 weeks, I joined Snohomish Fire and Rescue. Actually, back then it was Snohomish Fire. Back then we had, when I joined, there was 4 career firefighters. Well, actually they were kind of career/volunteers because they worked during the day, during the week, and at night and weekends they were volunteers, like the rest of the 30 people that volunteered at that time. Drill night on Thursday night was come to drill, get your gear on, get on the truck, go out and squirt water for a little while, come back and drink beer and roll dice all night. That was October 81. In January of 82, the city hired actually Bob Merritt, who just happens to be Evan's father. Bob Merritt came in and took our fire department from the 50s and brought us up to date and probably even maybe a little advanced. Helped with the county instituting an EMT program. We had EMTs before that, but their certification expired because there wasn't any continuing education. The department in the last 40 years has changed considerably. And in fact, several years ago, one of the people in this room, I remember complaining about the lack of opportunity for advancement. And now he's talking about a career path for everybody in the department. There's a lot of opportunities now that weren't there when we were a little department. Now we're a little bigger department. I've been a part of this department and I've been proud and very proud to be part of this organization for over 40 years. And when I signed up to run for commissioner for the next 6 years, a few months ago, I had every intent to fulfill that commitment. Some things changed in November in my personal life, and so I am unable to fulfill that full 6-year term. I will be moving out of the district in the next few months until so what's going to happen is I will resign when either I sell my house and I'm no longer a resident of the district, or the board finds a suitable candidate and appoints them, or is ready to appoint them. And when they get ready, then I'll resign and they can appoint them to my position. That person will be appointed and will serve until the end of 2023. January 2024, we'll have a new commissioner, or they will run in the election in 2023 and be reelected. But the way commissioner elections run, it's every 2 years, and so we have to wait until 2023 election, general election, for that person or a person to run. The district has, as I mentioned, changed considerably. You wouldn't even know unless you were here, as a couple people here were in those early days. So again, it's been my privilege to serve, and I will serve until I can no longer, or until an appropriate person is appointed. We are going to send out a request for people to send in kind of applications, kind of a synopsis of their experience and why they want to run or why they want to be appointed to a commissioner position. And the board will review those, the chief will review those, but I will not have a vote on that person that's appointed. Hopefully I'll have some input, but I won't have a vote. It will be up to Commissioner Merritt and Commissioner Flath to pick a person and appoint them. If they do not appoint them and I end up having to resign, they have a certain time period where they have to appoint somebody, or it goes to the county and the county will appoint somebody. So hopefully we can find somebody that is acceptable. And as I mentioned, it was never my intent to not fulfill my 6-year term, but some personal things changed my life. So that's where we're at. That's all I got. Anybody else have anything?
Yes, I do. I really thank you for all your years of service, 40 some years, that's a long time in there. And served your community in various ways here at Fire Service. And so thank you for that. But I also have a question that maybe the chief can help us with. Is it legal for us to offer people to put in? I mean, this is something you probably have to take to the lawyer. Is it legal for us to ask people to see if they're willing to select their name, you know, if they'd be wanting to fill that before the individual is no longer in the position. And I think we would want to have some legal advice before we would do that, so that we don't have some issues somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any issue there, but we can verify that.
I think I'd like you to do that with our lawyer.
Okay?
Yeah, Brian has already, outlined the process for this.
Right, yeah, I understand that, but I thought he was, well.
Well,
let's just-
we want to get any questions answered,
Yeah, right.
any questions that are still out there we want to get answered.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Well, with that, we will adjourn the meeting at 20:09 hours.